guys, this is Comic Uno and Comic Frontline, and I'm finally back with Comic Uno episode. I know I didn't have it last week. I got sick. Near Comic-Con, I didn't have enough time to do it. But I'm back to a regular scheduled Comic Uno episode and my comic book reviews, so I'm happy. So we're up to episode 69, and I have 17 comics to review, so we're going to go worst pick of the week to best pick of the week. So what was number 17? Logan Legacy, issue 1. Yeah, I was really disappointed with this issue. This was worst pick of the week. I gave it a 2.5. It was pretty much one big advertisement, and that's what was so disappointing. The only thing I really liked about the issue was X-23, how she changed her hair to reference Wolverine, to say, hey, you know, I'm respecting you. She changed her hair to yellow blue. I liked that a lot. I thought that was kind of special. But the rest of this was advertisement for the rest of the issues. Will I get issue 2? Yes, only because that's the X-23 story. Every other issue, I'm not going to get. Unless you love the character, let's say you're a Sabretooth character, get that issue. You do not need to get every issue. The main overall story is not that interesting. It's about Mystique and her pretending to be Charles Xavier, which I'll definitely get into as the episode 69 goes on, because it seems like we're getting a lot of Charles Xavier references throughout the week. Is he going to come back? Who knows? But they try to trick you with this issue, so yeah, it was okay. The overall story, like I said, the whole Mystique story doesn't really interest me, but I will get the X-23 issue. But overall, you really do not need to read this issue. It doesn't make you have that teary-eyed moment that you like to see with these grief issues, and you don't really get that here. So I give that 2.5. Number 16 is Batman Eternal, issue 28, back on the bottom. This issue is okay. It wasn't horrible, but nothing's really going on here. We get to see, even though Batgirl's on the cover, you know, Batgirl's still angry. She doesn't want to kill Commissioner Bard, but she wants to get information out of him. And Red Hood says, you don't want to do this, this is not you. And it seems like they have some sort of chemistry going on, now that Barbara thinks that Dick is dead. And that's pretty much what's going on. We also see Catwoman. She's becoming a little bit more of a villain, and this is definitely the process of her becoming a villain, and that's pretty much it that happens here. Other than that, it's pretty much more about Catwoman becoming what we saw in issue 28 of Batman, the regular Batman series, when they promoted Batman Eternal. So, you know, I like the art. I thought the art's a big improvement from what we've been getting. I mean, it's not the best art I've ever seen in my life, but I thought it was a big improvement. But it's just a bland issue. Not a lot's going on. It just, and I'm not a big Catwoman fan. It just doesn't really interest me. So I give it 3 stars. It was okay. Number 15 is Future Zen. Where Batman Eternal is, there is Future Zen. You know, with Future Zen, there's some really intriguing stories, and this issue proves that. I really liked the ending, where we get to see that Clark tries to help out Constantine, who, one of the big robots that are part of Brother Eye's thing, or Brainiac's thing, is trying to kill this woman, and Superman saves the day and helps Constantine out. That story kind of intrigued me. I like to see where Superman's going. And then the one that really intrigued me was the Firestorm story, where we get to see Ronnie is getting closer to, I think her name's Madeline, the person who's the girlfriend of Tim, and seeing her interact with Tim and say, oh, are you Tim or are you Cal? Who do I call you? Because I have a theory that this is probably the creation of a new Firestorm. I do think that Tim's girlfriend's going to become part of Ronnie's Firestorm powers, and only because we've seen those advertisements of female Firestorm, and now that she's getting close to Ronnie, how will this happen? I don't know, but that does intrigue me a lot. Now, the other stories is why this issue's so low. I don't really care about Frankenstein, and also the art's kind of a little sketchy here, facial expression-wise, like Black Adam. I just did not care about that story at all. I don't care about Frankenstein. I don't really care about the Brother Eye stuff at the moment with Earth 2 things, because they haven't made me really care about it. And honestly, it gets very confusing, because in Earth 2 something else is happening, and Future Zen, Earth 2 characters are being trapped. Gets a little confusing about what's actually going on in both these stories, because they're so similar to each other, but they're trying to tell different things. So even though there's interesting stuff here, at the same time, the boring things are really boring. I mean, literally, I'm reading it, I'm like, I don't care. Like, I like her too. Make me care about this. And I just don't, especially the Frankenstein stories. I really don't care about that one. But Superman and the Firestorm stories, I am intrigued about. And, you know, I'm not even a big Firestorm fan, so it's not the proof of I don't like these characters, so that's why I don't like the story. I've never been a big Firestorm fan, but I like this story. So it has something to do with them not giving enough interesting facts for the Frankenstein story or two stories. So, and that drags the issue down a lot, even though the art's pretty consistent for the series. So I give it 3 stars. I was disappointed. So now up to number 14, which is Wolverine and X-Men issue 10. Another issue that just really disappointed me. With this issue, honestly, Wolverine X-Men, this new Wolverine X-Men, has not been that great. I had to drop the series, which was disappointing, because I really did like the series when Jason Aaron was doing it. I thought it was a really solid series, sometimes even more than solid. So I like that series. So it's disappointing that I had to drop Wolverine X-Men. So you might be asking, why did I get this issue? I wanted to see the aftermath of Wolverine's death, and we see that here. We get to see Wolverine's like ex-girlfriend, who's a reporter. She's writing a book on Wolverine, so she asks everybody, what does Wolverine mean to you? And Storm goes up to this woman and says, I have information for you, and that's how the issue ends. So mostly it is about grief, but there wasn't enough here. There wasn't enough meat, nothing that made me choke up, and nothing that really made me care. And also the art is different artists, and I hate this art style. We get to see some art styles that just aren't good. It's very sketchy, big lips. So there are different artists for each story, and some of it's not very consistent. Some of it's pretty good, but the ones that aren't consistent aren't that great. So I didn't like that they used different artists for a couple of these stories, but overall it's really disappointed me. I wanted more out of this one. Especially since this is Wolverine's team, they should be grieving a little bit more. I mean, there are some good moments with Iceman, him like joking around about Wolverine, and then grieving a little. Those are good parts, but overall, I give it 3 stars. Alright, so now we're up to number 13, which is Edge of Spider-Verse, issue 5. Not a bad issue, actually surprised me a lot. I mean, the art's a little bit bright. I don't love the artwork, it's a little bit too bright for me, but I did like the story. I thought it was pretty interesting. We get to see this girl, Penny, her father died, who was Peter Parker, and he wore this Spider-Man suit called Spider. It's spelled out like that on the cover. So, they both work for the government, and we get to see Penny grow into her own. Aunt May and Uncle Ben are her technical parents, but they're scientists who work for the government. So the story was pretty intriguing. I liked it. She's going to end up being an Edge of Spider-Verse. She didn't die in the end of this issue. But, you know, did I want to see more of Penny? No. I mean, that's the thing that didn't really impress me. One story was enough for me, but it was intriguing. I think it's enough to pick up, but it didn't blow my mind. So I'm going to give this 3.5 stars. I liked it. It's pretty good. Alright, I think we're up to number 12. Let's see. Yes, number 12, which is Teen Titans issue 3. Yeah, you know, I like this issue. It wasn't bad. You know, I still have to think of it in a mind frame of this is a new Teen Titans. And this Teen Titans series is actually a lot better than Liddell's. There's at least some positivity here. Still, there's no family aspect. Like, I don't feel like they're a team. They, like, hardly even hang out with each other in this issue or any issue I've read through these 3 issues. Besides Bunker and Beast Boy, the only people that I even see my friends. But yeah, overall, I really like the artwork. That's something that really drives me to the series. I think it fits the series really well. We can see this woman, cyborg villain, and she wants to attack the Teen Titans. And we see the Teen Titans kind of work as a team to defeat her. And also a really interesting tidbit is that Wonder Girl is talking to her mother, and her mother finds out, oh, you're Wonder Girl, and people are trying to beat you. Let's kind of fix this. And it seems like they don't have the best relationship, which is kind of close to the Pre-Nuke 2. They weren't the closest, but then they became close. So it's interesting to see that element come back. Her mother was a big part of her life in the Pre-Nuke 2 Teen Titans, so it's cool to see her come back to this series. So even though I have problems, I still don't think they're a team, and I don't love the characters. I do think the story is intriguing enough to keep picking it up and seeing where it goes. It's just a big improvement from what we've been getting. So overall, I give it 3.5. Not a bad issue. Right, now we're up to number 11, which is Axis, issue 2. A lot higher than it was last week. Last week, I know I didn't have Comic Uno episode, but it was worst pick of the week. I thought there was way too much going on, not a lot of interesting facts. This issue, on the other hand, had a lot of action, but it was balanced with story. There was definitely enough story here, especially if you like Iron Man. You see Iron Man say, you know what, maybe I've been a little cocky over the years. Maybe I always think a little bit too much of myself. And this is why he created these Sentinels and he didn't even know it. So I like that part. I really liked his internal dialogue. And I like the teams working together. And humans working together, mutants, Avengers. It's cool to see the Marvel Universe come together for one thread, which is Onslaught. And now, I talked a little bit more about this in my in-depth review, but I do think there's a chance that Charles Xavier might come back because of this. They keep referencing Charles Xavier a little bit too much throughout the Marvel Universe to see that he's not coming back. How do I feel about this? I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit too soon, but also people would forgive Cyclops, so I would feel a little bit better about that. The X-Men might come together. Maybe there'll be less of this segregation between the mutants, so I might feel okay about it. We'll see how it goes. But that is my theory. I do think Charles Xavier is going to come back by the end of Axis. What did I think about the issue? I really like the ending, though. I really do like the ending where we get to see the villains actually come and fight between the heroes also. Magneto bringing his friends to fight Onslaught. So, overall, I liked it. I thought it was really good artwork, good story, and I think it's definitely improving. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. So, I gave it 3.5 stars. I liked Axis. Alright, number 10 is Uncanny X-Men, issue 27. You know, this is a little lower than Uncanny X-Men has been with this Charles Xavier story arc, because I've been really liking this story arc. But we got back to Bachelot's art. I'm not a big fan of his art. It's very, like, graffiti-like. I don't love his artwork for the X-Men. I think it was a lot better here. I've seen worse with his artwork, but it doesn't quite fit the style of the X-Men for me. I like the other art style a little more. But I do like this issue a lot. We get to see the strongest X-Men come here, and he comes into the story, and he's destroying everything, and he wants to keep his powers. And Cyclops is like, alright, I gotta talk to this guy. Join me, let's get breakfast. And this does not seem like a good idea. If he was gonna follow anybody, I'd feel a little bit safer if he went with Beast, or, the Jean Grey Institute, Rachel or something. Now, Cyclops saying, let's have dinner, or let's have breakfast, because you're so strong, I like you. Come with me, I need to use your power. It brings us back to who Cyclops has become since Avengers vs. X-Men. So, I'm a little scared, but it was a good cliffhanger, and I like where the story's going. I'm definitely more intrigued with Uncanny X-Men than I was before this story arc happened. So, it seems like it has a direction. I really enjoyed this issue. I gave it 3.5 stars, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. So now we're up to number 9, which is Earth 2, World's End, issue 2, which is a little lower than it was last week, because it was number 1 last week. Choking on water. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Earth 2, World's End was number 1 last week. So this week it being number 9, it's a little surprising, but it doesn't mean it's a bad issue. There's just a lot of good issues that came out this week. I thought this was a very solid issue. A little bit too action-packed in my opinion, but a lot of great story here. We get to see 3 of the Earth 2 members get turned by Apocalypse, and they're gonna fight the rest of the Earth 2 team. So Power Girl, Huntress, and Lois Lane are being controlled, and they're gonna go against Val and Thomas Wayne. So yeah, this is a really cool issue. I think this is a big improvement from what we've been getting with the weekly series. I hope this could stay consistent, and I love getting Earth 2 every week. It's really fun. I love this world, and I love these characters, and it stays true to who these characters are. And I gotta say, my favorite scene from this issue was Lois Lane's ghost in a shell, or, ghost in a body, ghost in a robot, that she's not really human, and she sees herself in these monsters, and she's like, am I a monster? Am I human? Am I not? And Apocalypse makes her, this partner from Apocalypse, this henchman from Apocalypse, makes herself question, am I human? And I really like that aspect, because even though we've seen Lois Lane for a while from Earth 2, she never really questioned that, and now she finally is. So I thought that was a really intriguing part here. Again, it was a little bit too action-packed, yeah, that's kind of the lower part from this issue, but it was a very consistent issue. Love the artwork, great story, and again, I hope it stays this way, very consistent throughout the week, throughout the next couple of weeks. So I give this 4 stars, really enjoyed it. Alright, so now we're going to number 8, which is Edge of Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2099, issue 5. And I gotta say, I was very impressed with this. I just want to make sure, yeah. I was very impressed with this issue. And I will say that I actually got a misprint in this issue. I had to read this digitally through digital code because they double printed everything. Is that worth something? I don't know. But this is like a double-sized issue technically because they put 2 issues in one. So they misprinted it. I guess that's worth something. If you guys know, I think it is. I guess it's rare, right? But going back to the issue, really enjoyed this. It's a really great twist on Edge of Spider-Verse where we get to see the different Miguels come together and hopefully fight for the Spider-Verse event. So Miguel meets this other Miguel that's with Mary Jane from another universe, and the Miguel from the other universe dies. And our Miguel doesn't really know what's going on. He's seeing all these different Miguels, and this obviously is going to push him into Spider-Verse. So this is just a tie-in to Spider-Verse, to Edge of Spider-Verse. I don't know what's going to happen with the series after. Is it going to connect Spider-Verse more? I'm not sure, but I thought that was really cool. I thought it was a good premise. It's cool to see not just other Peter Parkers, but other versions of Peter Parker, like Miguel. There's other versions of Miguel. I really liked Mary Jane here. I thought she was an interesting addition, and I liked her relationship with this future Miguel. Even though I didn't love the future Miguel, he kind of pushed Mary Jane in a weird way, but I liked the story a lot. I thought it was intriguing. It was cool to see a little bit of Liz Allen, more of her character. They're going to build a super jail, and they think this is okay. It's a good plan. But overall, really liked it. I thought it was a solid issue. Really enjoyed the artwork. Was very impressive also. So I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed Spider-Man 2099. Alright, now we're up to number 7, which is Goddess Inc., issue 3. I was really impressed with this issue. It was in my top 5 for a while. Obviously, it became number 7. It got pushed from other issues, but I was really impressed by this. I really love what they're doing with the series, making these gods normal people, or pretending to be normal people, and now Venus is trying to get all of these gods together to kill them or make her, make herself more powerful. And there's some cool twists here, and I really like the characters. I would love to see this as an ongoing, or, something similar to an ongoing. I just think it's really intriguing, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. Really love this issue, so I gave it 4 stars, and I'm looking forward to seeing where the miniseries goes. Now we're up to number 6, which is Fantastic Four, issue 11. Fantastic Four is awesome. I love the series. The artwork is perfect for this series, and I love what James Robinson's doing with these characters, really breaking down the Fantastic Four without bringing them to space or whatever. They're breaking them down because they're not really together in a way. The first Marvel family not being together and having to face these challenges alone. A good example of that is Johnny's best friend being worried of Johnny, saying, we really got to help him out. What's going on with the Fantastic Four? So now Jen and Johnny's best friend are going to figure out what to do. And he actually gets shot by the end, Johnny's best friend, and someone's attacking him. Why is this happening? So this is just a whole nother mystery for Fantastic Four. Thing still being in jail, not knowing why, and Jen saying, you know what, a lot of this doesn't match up. Who's going against the Fantastic Four? Hopefully we'll learn soon. And then Sue, her being controlled by malice. She's worried about this. Reed feeling like he's not good enough. So really getting into these human emotions for these superheroes. Love the issue. Like I said, the artwork was really great, and it's just a very solid issue, and it makes me look forward to more Fantastic Four in the future, even though they're going to be ending Fantastic Four, which I'm not a particular fan of, but love what James Robinson's doing, and I like how they're breaking down the Fantastic Four, and I think with every issue you get some really great emotions here. So 4 stars for me. Really enjoyed Fantastic Four. Number 5 is Daredevil, issue 9. really good issue. Very, very solid issue. I loved everything that Daredevil had to offer here. I think the only thing I didn't love about this issue probably are the villains. I don't really like that these little kids are trying to attack Daredevil. Not a particular fan of that, but I like what they're doing with Daredevil himself and the supporting characters. You know, he wants to write a book, and Kristen and Foggy don't think this is the greatest idea because it'll bring him back to that dark place he was in, especially now that Matt's happy, or supposedly happy, because after these kids attack him, it brings out his fear, his doubts, and what Matt's truly feeling, and that's scared. He just puts this happy front to pretend to be happy. But he's truly not happy. He still has all this agony from his past. So I thought that was done really well, and I love how he's just crunched into a ball by the end of the issue. So what's going to happen there, and who the hell came back to life? That's another question. It looks like it's Purple Man, and what is he going to do with Daredevil? So I thought it was a really solid issue. Loved it. Very close to 4.5. Great artwork as always, and it's going to be exciting to see where Daredevil goes. I like that they really hit some emotional beats in this issue. So 4 stars for me for Daredevil, number 5. Number 4 is Miss Marvel, issue 9. I love Miss Marvel. It's such a fun series, and this issue is fun too. We get to see that she finally learns that she's Inhuman and how she deals with that, and the Inventor, her story with the Inventor is still continuing. I think it's going a little bit too long with the Inventor, but I at least like that with every issue you're getting more information about the Inventor, that the people he kidnapped weren't actually kidnapped. They were there for a reason, and they're probably going to fight Miss Marvel by the next issue. But overall, just a fun issue. I love the Inhuman stuff, her learning a little bit more about herself, and artwork I've grown to love. And, you know, Kamala in general is just a fun character, and I always look forward to Miss Marvel every week, and this is just a fun issue also, but still getting more information for the story arc. So looking forward to seeing where it goes. Really liked it. 4 stars. Number 3 is Death of Wolverine, issue 4. I personally really enjoyed this issue because I think the series went full circle. We get to see that, spoiler alert, Wolverine dies because of really what made him become Wolverine. Weapon X, he dies with the adamantium covering himself. Here, I want to show you obviously the image. And he turns into stone. Does that mean it's easy to bring him back? Sure it is. It's going to be very easy to bring back Wolverine in some way. And I'm sure it will be like in a year we'll see Wolverine back. But I like that they're putting the character back on the shelf. I think that's what I loved about Death of Wolverine as a whole, is that they're going to revamp Wolverine over the course that he's dead. So I like that. And again, I like that this issue went full circle with who Wolverine is. He saves the people because he's afraid that they're going to turn into him, really. Because they were going to turn into him. They're going through Weapon X. He's like, I don't want that to happen, so he breaks the machine and he sacrifices himself to save those people. Old Wolverine would never do that. And one thing I also loved about this issue is that he was alone. You know, Wolverine's always been the best loner. He's the most known loner. And as the years went on, he didn't become a loner. He fell in love. He made friends. He made a family. But now, by the end, he was where he began, what made him Wolverine, and he was still a loner. So I really like the premise of it. Would have I liked my idea that this whole entire time he was in purgatory and he died really in the first issue of Death of Wolverine? Yeah, I think that would have been a little bit more action-y in a way, because this is like, alright, he turns into stone, that's it. But I think if you look a little bit more of the meaning of it, it does really come for a full circle for Wolverine. And the artwork is magnificent for the series. Love the artwork. And overall, this is one of the best Wolverine stories I've read in years. So I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4.5 stars. So let's move on to number 2. Justice League, issue 35. I really enjoyed Justice League. It did go over Death of Wolverine. First of all, because I love the art for this too, even though the artwork was better for Death of Wolverine. The story was really solid, and I thought this was a very, very great way to start the Mesovirus, which I'm looking forward to seeing what that's truly about, because it's supposed to be a big story for Justice League. But it was really, I love the Batman-Lex Luthor interactions. That made the issue for me. Who's the best politician? Who's the best talker? And Bruce going into Lex's lab, finding Lena, finding Lex's sister, and then bringing the Amazovirus into Lex's lab. Is Lex behind this? Is he not behind this? And then seeing the other Justice League kind of in the outskirts looking in of what's going on with Bruce and Lex. One of my favorite interactions that's come out of Lex Luthor becoming a Justice League member is Lex and Bruce, and him knowing that he's Batman. So overall, really enjoyed the issue. I'm looking forward to see where this Amazovirus thing goes, and I give it 4.5. Really enjoyed it. So what was number 1? Number 1 was Miles Morales' Ultimate Spider-Man. You know, this tends to be pick of the week a lot because it's an amazing series. Artwork is beautiful. Love the artwork here. I can show you the double page spread. I think it's coming. Where he explains that he yeah, here we go. This is like the double page spread of everything he's gone through in Ultimate Universe Peter Parker. So what do I think about this issue? We get to see J. Jonah Jameson probably die. Norman Osborn get arrested and find out that Miles' father might be hiding something, but he has another father we don't know. And Peter not knowing if he's truly alive or who he is or if he is even the true Peter Parker. So I loved it. I thought there was some really great interaction, especially for Peter Parker. I saw the true Peter Parker here, even if it's not the true Peter Parker, we don't know. But I love that he's like, I just remember waking up and that's it. I remember everything, but I don't remember what happened after I died. And he wakes up in this lab, and why was he saved? We don't know. So I thought that was very interesting. And cliffhanger was great. I was like, ooh, who is Miles' father? What is Miles' father hiding me? This is why he's so scared that Miles is Spider-Man, and why they haven't talked to each other. And this just brings motivation to bring Miles' father back. Some great interaction with Mary Jane and really the whole family with Peter. Seeing that big interaction, that big reveal of Peter still being alive, and Aunt May saying, I knew you were alive. I love this Aunt May, first of all, because this is an Aunt May that's actually proactive. The Aunt May of the regular universe should have died probably a long time ago, because she hasn't really doing much, but this is an Aunt May that deserves to be alive because she's part of the story, and she truly is doing a lot. So love this Aunt May. Probably my favorite version of Aunt May is Ultimate Universe. And then that J. Jonah Jameson scene was pretty powerful too, because you think Norman's dead, but nope, J. Jonah Jameson's gonna die. Probably. We don't know. We don't know if he's dead, but it seems like he is. But overall, love the artwork, love the story, and can't wait to see where it goes. So 4.5 for me. Really enjoyed Miles Morales this week. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the Random Situations. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there's links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. Don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. And also, annotated is the Kickstarter for Like Father, Like Daughter. And tell me in the comments below what was your worst pick of the week, best pick of the week, and all the comics in between. And I'll see you guys later.